So we've got Alex and Daniel here from Zenogen. Zenogen's very much a UNSW startup, born out of UNSW, fair to say?
Yep.
Alex, why don't you explain what Zenogen does exactly?
Sure. So hydrogen is one of the energy carriers of the future, and using hydrogen as an energy carrier currently depends on some expensive precious metals like platinum, and Zenogen has some technology to replace those and make the use of hydrogen as an energy carrier much cheaper and more accessible.
So you guys, you've been working on this for a while. What stage are you at now?
So we're about 2 years in. The first year for us was securing pre-seed investment. We used that to develop the business plan and the business model itself. After that, we pitched for a seed investment round, and that was about $500,000, which we leveraged against some federal government funds, Commercialisation Australia, and the R&D commercialisation tax incentives. We've been conducting science now for about a year, and we're really developing our value proposition for when we go and pitch it to customers.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier, you got grants and whatnot from the government. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on Australia as an ecosystem for startups? You've got talk of companies wanting to list overseas and whatnot, but as someone that's grown a business here, how do you feel about Australia as an ecosystem?
Australia, as you can imagine, exactly right now is rapidly changing. So when we started our business, we had Commercialisation Australia.
Yeah.
Now we know that that's obviously been taken away.
Right.
We were lucky we received funding under the old programs, but I think for a lot of people who are going to be starting companies right now in deep science, it could be tricky.
Right.
That said, we've also seen a shift from the investment community to go into deeper technologies or longer term plays in Australia. So
right.
We may have been potentially even the first clean technology play for the Sydney Angels in Sydney.
Yep.
And what we've found now is that they're likely to make quite a few more. Maybe because of us, or maybe because the times are changing.
Right. So it's fair to say times are changing. But, Alex, obviously you guys are doing deep science. That's what you guys are doing. It's quite technical. Mm-hmm. So do you find it quite difficult to get investors or even, I guess, clients and whatnot to understand exactly what it is you're doing?
Yeah, there is an additional level of complexity that comes with the science business.
Yep.
Following on from what Dan said, the ATO does have the R&D tax incentive, so there is a very strong value proposition of 45 cents back in the dollar that is a very big value proposition to build a business here.
Yeah.
In terms of selling the science, I suppose, that comes down to how good the entrepreneur is in translating what you have at a scientific level and the techno-economic impact, as we like to say. Yeah. What does it actually mean? And so the better you are at that, that really has the big impact on how easy it is to sell.
Yeah. So you guys have been working on Zenogen for a while. For students looking to start a business, what would you say? There's the kind of argument they should maybe get some corporate experience, they should just give it a go. What are your thoughts on that?
So you should definitely be at the right stage in your life when you're ready to jump in. I went out and I got some experience in the scientific world, I suppose, and in business before I jumped in, but I do know people jump in whilst they're students or whilst they're at uni, and maybe some people need a little bit longer out in the world before they do.
Right.
So what can I say? If you feel that innate desire to jump, you're probably ready. And so just do it. Doesn't matter what stage you're at.
Okay, last question. Where do you guys want to be in 5 years from now?
Okay, well, before I answer that, I'll follow on from Dan said.
Yeah.
And the key that I think is the transferable skills as an entrepreneur that you can gain in terms of pitching, articulating, leading, convincing. Those are skills that you can gather in the corporate sector. You can get them as a startup. You can get them in a lot of different. You can get them working in a charity if you wanted to. But those transferable skills are what makes an entrepreneur good, and I think they can be gathered from a number of different places. If you think corporate's right to start with, that can be right. Otherwise, just go and start it. Okay. In terms of 5 years, I'd like to be leading another transformative company. As an engineer, I have a strong connection to science and technology, so I suspect it'll be related to that.
Okay.
But maybe the next one won't be a deep science one, just to give myself a break.
What about you?
Yeah, I think we're both going to be career serial entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So I get my kick out of starting businesses. And so hopefully, maybe I'll be 1 in, 2 in, I'm not sure. But either way, in 5 years from now, I hope I'm filthy rich. Rolling up my next startup in, the 6.
You can buy a few of those Ford Falcons back.
I could buy my 1971 Ford Falcon back.
Brilliant. Thank you guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks.